What's up, guys? Today is August 28, 2017. I have two editorials from The Hindu, so let's start it. Anarchy in Panchkula, Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh's conviction. Nothing shows up in the ineptness of the state more than unpreparedness in the face of predictable events, in allowing tens of thousands of followers of the Dera Sacha Soda sect to gather for a show of strength when their leader Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh was awaiting a judicial verdict in a rape case. The Haryana government abdicated its responsibility of maintaining law and order and protecting life and property. Prohibitory orders were not enforced, with the government evidently viewing looming protest as pressure relief waves instead of trigger points for violence. In the absence of appropriate and of restriction on movement and assembly in public spaces, matters spiraled out of control once the court pronounced the cult leader guilty of rape. True, mob violence is difficult to control without resort to extreme force, but in this case the government seemed to rely entirely on the good sense of sect's followers. It failed to foresee violence on such a large scale, and no viable security plan was in place until after several hours of lawlessness. Despite intelligence inputs about the Dera followers sorting fuel and knives and stones, the government machinery was woefully slow to react. Neighboring Punjab and Delhi also witnessed violence, but the preparedness of the law enforcers were of high order in both those areas. Punjab saw better coordination between the army and the police, with action being taken at least 10 days in advance. Of course, the supporters had gathered in greater numbers in Panchkula and Sirsa, the headquarters of the sect in Haryana. Even so, nothing remotely credible can explain the inadequateness of Haryana's response on Friday's mayhem. Religious sects such as the Dera Sacha Sauda that command a huge following are often handled with kind gloves by government as they deliver votes in blocks. Senior BJP leaders, including ministers, have often been seen seeking the blessings of the Dera leader. This is what must have prompted the Punjab and Haryana High Court to come down hard on the Manohar Lal Khattar government for its political surrender to the Dera vote bank. Although the remarks are political in nature and quite unusual coming from a court, they reflect the growing perception that politicians are often in nexus with religious leaders and cult figures. 3 years ago in Hisar, another God-man, self-styled Jagat Guru Sant Rampal defied the police for several days, evading arrest in contempt case. In that instance, his followers countered the police with Molotov cocktails and acid pouches. Clearly, Godman and cult leaders believe they are above the law. It is for the government and law enforcement agencies to disabuse them of that notion, especially when, as in the case of Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh, they face charges of rape and murder. I have the second editorial, so let's start it. That old spark, Nepal Prime Minister's visit brings bilateral hope. At a time when the Doklam standoff had focused attention on Himalayan geopolitics, it was impossible to miss the significance of the visit of Nepal's Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Debua to India. This was his first foreign visit as Prime Minister, and it confirmed Kathmandu's abiding interest and strong ties with India. The recovery of bilateral warmth has taken some doing on both sides. Mr. Debua is Nepal's 10th Prime Minister in a decade and its fourth since its constitution was promulgated in 2015. India had mounted strong opposition to the constitution with demands that it be made more inclusive, especially vis-a-vis the Madhesis in the Terai area, sending ties with Kathmandu's ruling establishment on a downward spiral. Even as Nepal struggled to cope up with rehabilitation work after the massive earthquake of 2015, many in Kathmandu held India responsible for 3 month long great blockage of goods and fuel supplies that followed sustained protest by Madhesi's group. To that end, Mr. Debua's visit was another opportunity, as were the visits of his predecessors K.P. Sharma Oili and Pushpa Kamla Dhal Panchanda to repair the India-Nepal relationship. The joint statement at the end of the Delhi leg of his visit refers to the deep, comprehensive, and multifaceted ties between the neighbors as it listed projects being developed in Nepal under lines of credit provided by India. These includes $200 million for irrigation project, $330 million for road development, and $250 million for power infrastructure in Nepal. India made the obligatory appeal to Kathmandu to take all sections of society on board while implementing its constitution, but the tenor was notably softer this time. No mention was made of a key amendment to the constitution to accommodate Madhesi's demand that they had been defied just last Monday. Yet Yet it would be a mistake to presume that ties can so easily return to their pre-2015 strength, as the ground has shifted in too many ways since then. To begin with, memories of a blockage still rankle in Nepal, and while South Block and Singha have been keen to move ahead with trade leakages and complete the integrated checkpoints at Raksula, Bhinju, and Jogbani Bhritanagar, the landlocked country has actively sought to break its dependence on India for fuel and connectivity. Since 2015, Nepal and China have cooperated on infrastructure plans, including a big hydroelectric project and a rail link to Tibet. Nepal is also part of China's Belt and Road Initiative. India is struggling to leverage the historical closeness with Nepal, the open boundary the two share, and the special status Nepalis working in India have enjoyed. The India China standoff in Doklam will add to the awkward, awkward, awkwardness in the trilateral relationship. Mr. Debua's visit will need a sustained follow up. Thank you.